Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Gavin Thomas Walters, and today I'll be presenting the power of a simple conversation. So, the reasoning behind why I picked this is all throughout the faces on this screen. And the reason why I picked this is because growing up, I saw a lot of victims of police brutality posted across the news. And it had a lasting effect on me because I myself looked like them. And it led me to think about these conversations that I would have with my parents, my mom and my stepfather. So I ask you guys in the audience, do you guys understand the conversation about what to do when you're pulled over? And what this conversation was like for me was, don't move erratically, don't move too fast or do anything sudden, be respectful, keep your hands where officers can see them. And I think it's very important to recognize the lives that this conversation has saved, because there are a lot of people on the screen behind me who didn't have the chance to make it home, and they didn't have the chance to have that conversation with people or their sons or daughters. And I think it's very important that we recognize a way that we can use simple conversation to save the lives of others and the people that reside within our community. And that leads me to my next slide. And with this, on the first quote on the left side, you see that of the 1,000 or more civilians that are killed each year, it is 2.5 times more likely that it would be a black person. And the reason why I think it is very important to identify and recognize this is because there's a reasoning why we have to have these conversations. And because of this disparity, I think that we can use it to our advantage to build community. And this goes to the next quote. With this next quote, it talks about how the first words out of an officer's mouth in an interaction and conversation when they're pulling someone over or having any police stop dictate the way that the outcome of that stop goes. Where if it is open and inviting, people are more likely to be respectful towards police officers. But if it is demanding and prosecuting in the sense that, what are you doing? Why are you over here? These interactions do not go as well. And I think it's very important that we recognize this because we all live in a town with police and are all going to be policed by people. So if we remember this and also can preach it to other people, it promotes a better and safer environment. Now, this leads me into why I think this is so important. And this starts with one of my first experiences with police officers around the time when I was 5 years old with the Sleepy Hollow Police Department. They were hosting a community day, and I was asked a question about movies that I like to watch. And I brought up a movie called Cornbread, Earl and Me. Now, for those of you who don't know, this movie came out in 1975, exactly 50 years ago, and it talks about the same problems that we are currently experiencing right now with police brutality, where it was a young man who has grown up within the community who was murdered by police, and it caused community outrage, the same things that we see nowadays with the Black Lives Matter protests and things of that nature. And the reason why I bring this up is because it was a natural and honest conversation between me and another person, not me between another police officer, where you can see the humanity within the person, that it's not someone who is just a police officer, but someone doing a job. And this leads me into my next point about the Black Lives Matter protests, where there was a lot of outrage about this with people speaking out, but we had our own protest here. And one thing that I noticed when I was younger was that there weren't too many police officers around. And I think that is very important to notice because there are police officers on the force who look like me. And I think it is very important that we try to build a community with them because they still reside within this community. And this leads me to my experience with the Ossining Police Department. Now, this happened last year, so very recently, and what ended up happening is that me and my stepfather were coming out of Dunkin' Donuts, and I fit the description. The description being a black male, not any clothes that were on, not any characteristics, 6 foot, slim, glasses, no, none of that, just 2 black men. And this interaction proceeded with them coming and boxing our truck in so that we couldn't leave and asking, where were you, what were you doing? And we responded very respectfully and, tried to be the most positive as possible. And we said that, we just came from Dunkin' Donuts. We just left from C-Town getting groceries and we can show you the receipt, and we did. And if it wasn't for another African-American police officer who knew my family from the town and who we were, I don't think that interaction would have finished the way that it did. And this led me to think about how these simple conversations that I had at home not only helped me that day, but the simple conversation between those officers saved lives that day, in my personal opinion. And this leads me to what I believe are the next steps in this interaction. With these next steps, I believe that it's very important that officers are trained in de-escalation, because in a lot of times, and a lot of the interactions that we see nowadays, officers escalate the situation just by the words that they use because they don't know the people who they're policing. And I think it's especially important in this town because we're not that big in the sense that there couldn't be community outreach events that we get to know the officers who serve and protect us. And this leads to the second point, where we do have community days, and I give a lot of props to the people in the town, but it's also our job to attend these events so that we see the faces that protect us, because we cannot fully fault police officers for trying to do their job. And this is where it leads to situational training for citizens. If we build a trust with our communities and with the people who are supposed to serve and protect us, there should be no need why we have phones out when they're trying to do their jobs. Because through my own research, it was found that when you do pull out phones and start to record police officers, it puts them into a fight or flight mode, like you're putting an animal in a cage, where they don't really know how to react to it, because not only are they trying to police the person that they're doing their job for, but now they have to take into account all the people who are surrounding them. And with that, I thank you guys for your time and hope you guys had a good time.